For those select few that are already initiated, you should already know what this is. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're gonna get down to that other stuff here in a minute. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, before we do anything else, if you haven't smiled yet today, this is my personal invitation for you to do so. Right now. And if you can't find a smile for yourself, please allow me to be the smile on your face. Because at the end of the day, all I am is the smile on your face. All I am is the vibe. I know. And as we slide through the cosmos, you're gonna slowly start to come to the realization that it's about that time for you to open up your ear and let me crawl into your mind. Just one time. All it takes is one time. Everything is vibration. Can you feel that? What it was. Y'all already know who it is. And y'all tuned in with Priceless Knowledge of Self. And this right here, this ain't nothing but some cosmic insight. And what this also is our first taste of toxicity. Because this right here, this is the priceless top 5 most poisonous placements in astrology. And I said a lot right there. I said the priceless top 5. So this ain't your top 5. This ain't theirs. This ain't his. This ain't hers. This ain't what you've read about or what you've heard about. No, it's me. And good thing for both of us. I am a professional. And understand that I said the most poisonous placements, not the most poisonous people or the worst placements. No, I said what I said for a reason, because whether you know it or not, most poisons have their purposes. See, there's plenty of stuff under your kitchen sink that if you use it for cleaning purposes, it's going to do an excellent job. But if you use it for cooking, it's going to kill you. There's plenty of substances when taken in moderation that they're perfectly fine for you, maybe even healthy. But if you do just a little too much, it's over with for you, player. There's other substances that smell divine, but if you taste it, oof, you dead. There's other stuff that you can smoke, but you better not eat it. No. It'll be over with for you, player. And see, there's other stuff that if you use it externally, it's cool. But if it gets into the bloodstream, it's toxic. Because once it gets in there, it starts spreading. And it starts causing tissue damage, which starts causing the organs to shut down, which eventually leads to death. And see, there's a lot of placements that are like that. See, there's certain placements that, hey, if you use them in the right realm, they're perfectly beautiful placements. But if they start to manifest in a negative light, or on that lower vibration, as a lot of us like to say, hey, that shit can wreak havoc on the natives' lives and other people's lives too. And those are the type of placements that make this list. So, without further ado, this is the PrIcElEsS top 5 most poisonous placements in astrology. All right. So, number 5 on our list, Neptune in the 11th house. Why? Well, this boils down to dishonesty. This boils down to deception. This boils down to association. See, what you get right here is people with a fucked up mindset ending up being involved with more people with fucked up mindsets. Or even when it's just confusion. Confusion breeds confusion, which breeds confusion, which breeds confusion. So you got to understand that Neptune does have its certain spiritual qualities, but Neptune is definitely a malefic because it always breeds deception and disillusion. Wherever Neptune is involved, there's something that you're missing in the equation. I promise you. Or there's something that you got fucked up. Or you're confused about. Or you've been lied to about. Pardon me, y'all. And then when you look at the 11th house is our associations. The 11th house is our wishes, our ideas. It's our gains. It's the things that come from that. So when you see a bunch of like-minded individuals with a fucked up mindset, then you can see the havoc that could cause. That's why politics are so fucked up. That's where you get these hateful organizations like the KKK. These are people that want to feel a part of something. But the problem is their mentality's fucked up or confused or somebody's been lying to them. And so this is once again one of those toxic gifts that keep on giving. So that's the reason why Neptune in the 11th house is number 5 on the list of the PrIcElEsS top 5 most poisonous placements in astrology. Now, number 4, Capricorn moons. And the reason that Capricorn moons are number 4 on our list of the PrIcElEsS top 5 most poisonous placements in astrology is because Capricorn moons are always competing with everybody. And even if they don't feel like they're competing, it's like they always feel like they have something to prove, whether it be to themselves or everybody else. And it comes from this dualistic model of the universe that they have, where if one person is winning, then somebody else got to be losing. And when you have somebody that feels like that, and they teach their children those same type of emotions, or that emotional maturity kind of trickles on down, you see fucked up cycles start to develop. And I'm not saying that Capricorn moons are bad people, because I know plenty of Capricorn moons that are cool as hell. Hell, my daddy's a Capricorn moon. But I also know that my daddy is very emotionally immature. I also know that whatever the situation is, my daddy's in it to win it. Even at my expense. And when you see people that kind of are like this, it doesn't mean that people won't like them, but it means that other people won't trust them. Because like, man, like, motherfucker, I know you always looking out for you. I can respect it. I can like it, but I can't trust you. And I know I got Capricorn in my 4th house, y'all. And I got Mars in Capricorn in my 4th house. So I'm trying to break the cycle, but I do always feel like I have something to prove. I've always felt like that. And that comes from the root. And my root comes from my daddy's Capricorn moon. And the ways that I was taught by him coming up. Whether you either pimping or you getting pimped. That's the question with him. My daddy always tell me, boy, you better tighten up on your backstroke. Better stay game tight, boy. It's real out here, nigga. Nah, man. Nah, man. And so, that dualistic model of the universe, where if one person is winning, then another person must be losing, that can breed hate, that can breed mistrust, you know, that in certain situations that can make people feel like other people are down on them. And so it can break families up. And it really just comes from feelings of inferiority. And emotional immaturity. And so that's why Capricorn moons are number 4 on our list of the priceless top 5 most poisonous placements in astrology. Now, number 3. Number 3 is Mars in Scorpio, and this one is simple. Mars in Scorpio is number 3 on the list of the priceless top 5 most poisonous placements in astrology because they're ruthless and they're vindictive and they ain't gonna let shit slide. And they're gonna take it to the extreme. Let me tell you something. If you playing games with a Mars in Scorpio, you playing games with your life. And they have this austere quality that can wait. They can wait and wait, and they can just take a whole bunch of shit before it's finally time for them to get theirs in. And when they get theirs in, it's deadly. So, that right there, simply, is the reason that Mars in Scorpio is number 3 on our list of the priceless top 5 most poisonous placements in astrology. Because there ain't no forgiveness involved with them. You gave it, you gotta get it. And when they give it deep. Never forget that. So, Scorpio. Número 3 on the list of the priceless top 5 most poisonous placements in astrology. Now, let's get to number deuce. Number 2. Number 2 on the list of the priceless top 5 most poisonous placements in astrology. This one is a motherfucker, I'm gonna be honest with you. Because this is like a whole generational issue. There's lots of people that have this placement. And this boils down to people that have Saturn in Aries. Why? Because these motherfuckers walk around with a chip on their shoulder. They got a fucked up attitude. And that shit right there makes them hard to get along with. It makes them hard to deal with. It makes them hard to work with in groups. It complicates situations. It causes conflicts. And a big part of the problem is there's nothing we can do about it. No, the native has to grow and mature to a point where they realize that, hey man, they've been tripping the whole time. And a lot of the times that can take 28 to 56 years. And so what you have to do is understand that you're dealing with a conflicted motherfucker. And a lot of the times that means working around them. Or constantly dealing with conflicts. And until they realize that your attitude does affect your latitude, it's going to be a string of repeat performances because of that chip they carry around on their shoulder. It's not that they're bad people, because they're not. Not at all. It's the way that they carry themselves that makes them come across as selfish or self-centered. And it's also like, man, like, why? And it's really because they have a fear of being stopped or opposed. They feel like other people are against them, or they feel like somebody's trying to keep them from being who they need to be or who they are. And it's their own fears. And that right there, man, that's what makes Saturn in Aries number 2 on our list. Now, before I get to number 1, I need everybody to hit the like button that hasn't hit the like button yet. And if you haven't, why not? What are you doing here? You creeping? You hating? You swag sucking? Well, we got plenty to spare. Alright. And if you ain't a hater, man, hit the like button. And understand that this is not about ego. This is about algorithm. This just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, at least let us get out to the next motherfucker who is. Alright? And so, number 1 on the list of the priceless top 5 most poisonous placements in astrology. Black Moon Lilith in the 7th house. Why? Because they bring the worst out in others. And you can see how it hits individually with each sign. And I'm not going to go through the gauntlet. But I'm telling you, there's different ways that this can happen. Whether it through aggression, breeding aggression, or people feeling used. And so now they're like, no, from now on, I'm going to be like this. And now they're doing nothing but trying to win out of a situation. You see, deception breeding deception. Manipulation breeding manipulation. You can even see addiction breeding addiction. can see cycles of abuse. I've seen it. I've dealt with an individual that had Black Moon Lilith in the 7th house firsthand. And this individual had been in an abusive relationship before we were involved with each other. And so she had this mentality where if you weren't abusive, if you weren't going to put your hands on her, then she was going to be abusive towards you, because somebody's going to be running over somebody around here. And if you're not being aggressive with me, you must not care that much. And so I'm going to come put my hands on you and try my best to make you be abusive. And so, man, I had to get away from that, because I'm not going to be with anybody or be around anybody that we have to be doing harm to each other. And that's heartbreaking that certain people have that mentality and that mindset, but they have to deal with that shadow in themselves. And the problem with people with the Black Moon Lilith in the 7th house is they don't want to deal with their own shadow, so they project it onto others. And so that's the reason why the Black Moon Lilith in the 7th house is number 1 on the list of the priceless top 5 most poisonous placements in astrology. All right. And the beautiful thing about all of this, y'all, is it doesn't matter what placement you have. Just because you built like that, you don't have to build like that. And what I mean is, we all have all of this energy available to us. What you do with it is what you do with it. And even beyond that, it's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. And that's some priceless knowledge in itself. And this has been some priceless knowledge of self. If you've made it this far, you should have already hit the like button. If not, do so immediately. And you could hit the dislike button too, but then I know you're a hater. Hey man, y'all drop a comment. YouTube is about interaction. Let's kick this algorithm in the ass. All right. And if any of y'all are interested in any astrological readings whatsoever, don't get at me in my comments. Get at me in my email, which is mr.turner1300@gmail.com. All right. And the same thing goes if you want some merch. And I got all types of styles and sizes and shit and colors. And all you got to do is get at me. And I want to sell it to you. And I promise you'll look fabulous in it. But I need you to understand that this type of swag I got, this type of energy that I pack with me, it's got to be in you and not on you. So let me put it in you.